All right. Looks like we're live. Welcome everybody to an evening stream of Sweetcast along with Charlie Snogans. I guess the stream is Sweetcast. I'm Clint. This is Charlie Snogans. That's probably the better way to do it. But how are you doing tonight, Charlie?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm fantastic. I finally got to the end of Dune.
Oh,
I would. Movie,
how long
man.
did it take you?
It took me 4 trips on the treadmill. I don't know how many miles altogether, but by the time I kept thinking of Kelsey as I was running, thinking he said, "This is good world building. This is good world building." Parallels for world resources. And as I was watching, I think this is not about resources. This is about LSD. And it's about LSD, and I've seen better school plays. I've seen elementary kids singing, "At Catherine's we come together, holding hands." I thought that was better than Dune.
Then Dune. Okay. I've never seen Dune, so I have no opinion on it, but
Don't.
it hasn't appealed to me.
So I don't know. Maybe it's one of those movies. Maybe there's a lot of movies that when you see them when you're a kid and you think back on it, you think, what a great movie. But if you go back and watch it cold, not with when you watch something with emotions, what's that called?
You're like biased or
yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
There's a lot of movies like that, and I have a feeling that might be one of them because it is just dreadful. There's a couple cool scenes. It's fun to see Sting get killed.
Yeah, that could be cool. But you could just watch the one clip. There was one movie that sounded super interesting to me on every level. It was Fire in the Sky. Have you seen that? So it's based on a true story, about a guy that got abducted by aliens. The interesting thing though in real life is he was missing for like 3 days, and then he appeared like several miles away. I don't know how far, like something like 30 miles away, buck naked. And so, and they thought that his like logging buddies had killed him. He went out logging, disappeared, and then he came back and said, no. Anyway, so they made a movie of this, and I thought, well, this should be interesting. I looked up a clip, and it was him being inspected, probed like down the throat, by aliens, and it was kind of scary-esque, and I was like, oh man, that looks like a cool movie. And then I watched the movie, and most of it is just like this really slow drama, and then you see the alien abduction scene, the same thing I already saw on YouTube in its entirety. Apparently, I thought there'd be more. That was it. So I was like, I wanted to see more aliens. But
it sounds, in retrospect, from what you just described, it sounds like a long excuse for a drunken weekend on Brokeback Mountain. Him and his logging buddies.
The real life.
His logging buddies, and something was in his. He was naked, and you just said it was in his throat. It was in his throat. Meth Bender movie deal. That's
there could have been. Yeah, who knows? So I thought of several likely scenarios besides he got abducted by aliens, but that apparently is not the most interesting. I don't know. I'm sure we could come up with some others that are interesting. So
it sounds like you should be saying, "I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. Sleep all night and I work all day."
Oh, that's right. They stick something in through his eye, but they also blob. You should watch the clip. You could just like look up Fire in the Sky. I don't know what they call it. It's not dissection. It's, I don't know. Inspection or something, medical examination scene or something. And you can see the whole scene in its entirety. And that's like the best part. But the aliens look great. It was made in the early 90s, and I thought they looked great. Like it had like, if aliens were operating on you with rusty, like steampunk technology, that's what it looked like. So it's kind of terrifying. But the rest
during X-Files, when we all wanted to believe.
Yeah.
And Christopher John just said the probe goes in his eyes. I have such a. I can't even. You go to the optometrist and they put the eye drop in your eye.
Yeah.
I can't even keep my eye open for that. They say, open your eye. and I open my eye, and they go bloop, and my eye closes. And then
There's
they go,
something.
We said to keep your eye open, and I say okay, and then they go bloop, and I close my eyes. I can't do it. I can't keep my eyes open. I have real fear. So
Yeah.
worse than the alien anal probe, or they went down his throat. You said,
yeah,
his lumberjack buddies went down his throat. Worse than that, bigger fear than all that. Eye probe? No thanks, man. No. That doesn't sound boring at all, Clint. That sounds horrifying.
I know it does. It does.
You're saying it was boring?
The one scene there, it was a little boring. It might have been boring because I already saw the most interesting scene. Like, it was ruined for me by watching it first, and then I expected. Now the tone was set for the whole film, and it just didn't reach my expectations because there wasn't like all him exploring this alien ship and all this kind of stuff. It was just like literally that was the whole scene. So, but you should watch it. It's worth watching, except for the eye thing. Just because it's just good storytelling. It's scary. The rest of the movie's not scary.
Everything I watch, I tried to watch The Man in the High Castle, and the first season was okay, and then the second season, and this goes for all these dramas now, all these Westworld, Man in the High Castle. Every single scene is 2 or 3 people sitting in a semi-dark room, talking quietly, and I'm thinking, enough character development. Get them out there. Move the plot forward. And it was the same thing with, I don't know, season 4 of the zombie show, The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, yeah.
That was, every show was rednecks sitting around a campfire contemplating something. And I'm thinking, go kill some zombies, man. I know. I'm on a treadmill thinking, this is boring. I could watch, I'd be more, out of all these shows, Westworld is a drag. I mean, I was thinking they should reanimate Michael Crichton. Is there some of his DNA frozen in ember somewhere where they could get his DNA back and bring him back to life as a robot so he could come back and kill the writers of Westworld? That's all I was thinking. I want Michael Crichton to come back as a robot and kill the writers of Westworld because it was so boring.
Same with what was that show? It's HBO show about post-apocalyptic like kung fu movie, martial arts film. I don't know why the Borderland, the something lands into the Badlands.
That sounds incredible. Post-apocalyptic kung fu.
It's amazing. Like the first season was just perfect. I loved it because it had it was like kung fu movie, but the cinematography was just beautiful. The costumes were amazing. Like, it was just a beautiful TV show. But they apparently didn't have any other ideas past season 1. Season 2, I was like, okay, well, let's see where this goes. They had to kill off the same villain at the end of the first 2 seasons. It's like they resurrected him and killed him again, not in a totally inexplicable way. It didn't make any sense. And then 3rd season, I started watching it, and I was just like, why am I watching this? Because it just wasn't. It was AMC. Rooster Puncher says that's right, AMC, not HBO. But great premise. Season 1 was fantastic, I thought, and then I just fell off after that. Got a super chat, and guys, we have a fantastic show planned for tonight. So I'm glad you're with us tonight. We're gonna get into several things, but we're kind of warming you all up here. It's nice to have a super chat from the Lugia 06.
The Lugia 06.
The Lugia 06 for $10. Thank you very much. Says, hey, Clint, keep up the good work with your YouTube videos and your comics. Thanks. Hey, I appreciate it. I will do. My video today was popping. You know why? Because I said I'm going to make a clickbait video the way that it's supposed to be. I'm going to do clickbait and clickbait title, clickbait thumbnail, and it worked really, really well. So I need to do more of those. Keep that in mind.
By definition, anything you're doing, isn't it all clickbait?
It's all, but this one was.
What, are you trying to be a man of substance, Clint?
I'll show you. I'll show you. It just doesn't.
No, I saw the hot news reporter. That's a hot Italian news reporter that you used.
Yeah,
That's
I was like,
journalist was, and
then my title was, "This will fix comics journalism," and so everyone's like, "Well, pray tell, what is it?"
I didn't know you were a journalist major. How many times have we talked? I didn't know you were a journalism major before.
I mean, I finished off public relations, was the but it's all the same. You know, it's at the University of Utah. It's all communications, and then they have these 3 emphasis that you can emphases or emphasize. I don't know how you'd say that. You pick your emphasis that you go into, and mine was I was going to do journalism. I was unsure. I just did PR because I thought that one would pay the best. Turns out none of them pay. Joke's on me. Because it's this like dream job everyone wants. So all that prepared me just to make that one video.
4 years of schooling. And now you found that the secret to your success. I think Zach lined him up the other night. I was listening to Zach and Ethan talk the other night, and Zach actually said, what everybody wants is just a comic with action and lasers and aliens and hot chicks. And I thought, Zach's describing our book.
He is. It's true.
He described it exactly.
To a T.
And I thought, wait a minute, is that what everybody does? Maybe that's just. And then look, Zach, look at our cover. That's it. You just described it perfectly.
It's summed up in just one image. Yeah, man. It really is. But there is some of that missing. So let me go through everyone. We're here. The sponsor of this show and every show is Fatal. So if you haven't backed yet, now's the time to do it. I'm going to copy this, post it in the chat. It's also in the description in this video. And this helps us out because we want to get to that 70K goal. I've talked with 2 printers now. It doesn't matter where we end up landing. This book's going to be top quality. They tried to give me 110-pound paper stock for the cover. And I said, no. We need thicker cover stock. It's just not thick enough. So we're going to get that worked out. But Fatal is a fantastic book. We're going to get into it a little bit more and look at it throughout the show. Today we have a fantastic show lined up. We're going to talk about DC Comics' new look for Vixen. Is it a win or is it a fail? Comics Matter with your boy Zach says he's going to stop doing reviews.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Here's keep going. Tell us the flow
okay.
up front.
We'll spend a lot of time on it, but movie theaters. I went and saw a movie today in a theater with a mask on, and so I'll give you a little report back on that. J.J. Abrams is going back to work on comics. Is it him or is it really just another relative that he's sneaking in with his name? We will find out here tonight on Sweetcast.
Clint, that was an excellent. I don't know what you call it. Headline reading,
bumper,
opening.
Teaser. I don't know. Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, man.
I know. I gotta do this.
And now after you did that, everybody hit the like button, hit subscribe,
yes,
and ring the bell, ching ching for notifications.
That's right. Yeah, so we're gonna get a first story here today. DC Comics' new look for Vixen. I'm not a huge DC Comics fan. Really, like as far as fans go, there are bigger ones out there.
I don't even know what Vixen is. I
was gonna say I don't know who Vixen is. So what was her new outfit? We could find out, or what was her old outfit? But this is her new outfit.
Thank goodness.
Some would say this crotch picture here is a bird, but I'm not 100% sure and why it ought to be there. But this. I saw Vaughn comment on this on Twitter, and he said it looks just generic, like every other superhero, almost like in every film, right? They're all wearing the same kind of jumpsuit with different patterns on it, made out of the same exact material.
Well, I mean, anytime you're drawing humans, and you have to make them for a book with repeating panels, and it's not a one-and-off sort of sci-fi drawing with, where you could go all out, then you do sort of have to reduce it. And anytime you look at anybody who drew Spider-Man is always thinking the bird is the word. Christopher John, the bird is the word. Bird. Anytime anybody draws Spider-Man, they go, I have to draw the webs every time. Good Lord. So you want to try and get in and get out with a simple enough design. And anytime you got humans, it's 2 arms and 2 legs usually, with 1 head, unless it's Rosie Greer and the Man with 2 Heads. Yeah. Does everybody remember that movie from the 70s? Rosie Greer gets his head, the black soul brother's head gets pasted onto the white racist body, and hilarity ensues. Everyone's seen that? The man with two heads.
I have not seen that. Now I got to though.
That's worth it. Go back and watch. Never mind all these boring dramas when they're developing characters in dark rooms and they're talking about their feelings. Just go back and watch crazy horror movies from the 60s and the 70s. That's the fun to have. All I watch is blood. I just watch Bloodsport over and over again now. That's all I watch. Jean-Claude Van Damme was perfect. That's a movie star. Kick dudes in the head, slits, everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, aliens, lasers, and hot chicks. That's what it comes down to, right? So Vixen, this brings up a question. What makes good character design and what makes bad character design? I have my theories, but I imagine that probably you have a better idea of what how you would define that than I do. What do you think, Charlie?
What makes a good character design? I don't know, man. It's just got to look cool. It's hard to.
Yeah.
You got to make different looking characters and put them together. The theory from Matt Groening, who I think was telling the Disney version, was can you tell who they are in silhouette? So when, say, the three characters are coming towards you, do they look different enough in silhouette so that you could tell who they are? So Mickey Mouse, there it is, Goofy, and Donald Duck, those three are walking towards you. You know each character. So, or Homer and Bart and Lisa and Marge are coming towards you. You know all four of those characters from silhouette. Do you know this character from silhouette?
No. Well, it could be any human wearing a bodysuit, I guess.
Yeah.
In silhouette.
Yeah.
It could be. That's a good point. There's almost, I don't know how true this is, but characters along in their cast, like it's almost iconic in totality, or it can be, you know what I mean? The whole cast of characters together. Like Wolverine is an iconic character, but the X-Men as a whole are also like an iconic character. I don't know how the why, but like those components together. And sometimes I'll notice some like casts of heroes or just characters in general, there's something iconic about them as a whole together.
Well, I mean, so to skip ahead to the other topic you talked about, I do skip most of your boy Zach's reviews of comic books because I don't read them anymore. I'm done. I'm out. But he did do that sort of review of the X-Men lineup. Did you see that one? Where he talked about it was the cast of the X-Men characters, and they were each one was described with one sentence. And each one was described with their characteristics about their personality rather than their ethnicity, because he was talking about how the new ones are the ethnicities. So here it is, it's a black lady in their bodysuit. Whereas the X-Men, they were described as Nightcrawler was a swashbuckling, heroic religious guy or something. And from each description of their character traits, you got who they were, and those ideas of the X-Men came through. Although if you go back, you could still do the silhouette test. You could pick up Cyclops in the silhouette. You could pick up if you're going to do the original lineup, you could pick up Marvel Girl with her little thing and her mini skirt, the mod look. Oh god, that was a good book. Who else? Iceman had goofy swashbuckling boots when they first drew him. And he sort of looked like just a snowball. He looked like a snowman. And then it was really clever. Maybe it was just Kirby redesigning as they went. That's a big thing, too, when you make these characters. It's not, I mean, here, they drew this lady, and now in every book she's going to be that. But Jack Kirby drew Iceman, and then as Iceman in each book. I don't know if it was because Kirby was redesigning him to make him look better. He originally had him as a snowman, and then he becomes that sort of ice guy later, Iceman. And sort of said, well, he got better at his powers. He refined his powers and sharpened up. And if you see too, look, Galactus when Jack Kirby first draws Galactus in Fantastic Four, he's got most of it is there, but he also has this giant G on his chest. The OG. Galactus is the OG. And definitely, I don't know if it was in the next issue, he sort of said, why would this celestial being have a giant G on his chest? And that's the thinking. And it always comes back to, I always think, what the hell is Superman doing with the S? He's not even from here. Oh, that's
why in the latest film, they had to come up with some other thing that it meant. It's almost like you have to just embrace it. Like, well, I'm Superman. I'm leaning into it. We'll just own it. I don't know, but
that's the best. It. I'm Superman. It's an S
Superman.
For Superman. Yeah. It's not about hope. I'm Superman.
No, I mean,
Cliff, that's perfect.
If I was super, I might want everyone to know. I don't know. Might as well. What more conspicuous place than putting it right on your chest? Well, in this case, I think this character design, it's just fine. There's nothing that stands out about it at all. And I've even thought, character design is probably not easy. How many characters are made all the time that are just not good, but this one's forgettable to me. And I don't know, I've been thinking a little bit even about my own characters, like Joanne and Jax from Downcast, and they need better character designs. So I might slowly evolve like Jack Kirby did on those. I've got some ideas, but
it's always retooling. I mean, as I'm going through Fatal here, I'm each page, little things shift here and there. It's just little tiny, even if it's tiny things, shift, and then the mask goes down. Well, how did it go back into his collar? So I mean, you're always looking for the next thing. What's going to pop out of his arm? I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah, you get there. It's
developing it. If it took Jack Kirby that many issues to figure out Galactus, we got time. Everybody's got time. Even Vixen.
Yeah.
whoever the hell she is.
And that's fun. That's what comics like, kind of, the periodical format where they're evolving over time, and you kind of find out, or I don't know, even character like this character turned out to be a fan favorite. People love this character, so now you're going to get more of this character, and they become a bigger part. Like, there's
That's right.
There's kind of that fun bit of it where things sort of evolve. I love Batman because he's always got all these things, all this technology and stuff that becomes part of his almost part of his character. It's carried over. It's all branded exactly like him too, which is just, it's pretty funny when you think about it. But that's what makes it fun for sure.
Yeah, just as we were drawing here, I thought there was a couple spots where we didn't have Eldridge in the frame, and I thought, oh, where's Eldridge? And then I thought, well, he's got the mask. Can he see what Eldridge sees? I don't think we ever talked about that.
That's a good idea. Kind of like a drone with a camera.
Yeah. Yes.
Why not?
Why
That's
wouldn't
a really good idea. I like that.
What? We should all be so lucky. Right?
I know that would be cool.
I'm gonna draw with VR goggles, and it's constantly flying around, and I'm just thinking, oh yeah, I would drive
absolutely. That one. Let's see. K Manifesto. Remember, we got 57 people. Welcome. People are coming in. I really appreciate it. Saturday evening stream here. K Manifesto says, just joined up. What's with the bird crotch? We're trying to figure that out myself. I think maybe there was an explanation earlier.
That was Clint's nickname in college. They called him Bird Crotch.
Oh, Bird Crotch. Let's see. Vixen gets her powers from an amulet that was supposed to be passed down through the tribe. She does not know that because she was an orphan with her tribe when her tribe was burnt to the ground. Now she lives in the U.S. I'm not sure why there's a bird crotch from that. I appreciate, Randy, that definition. You're catching us up. I appreciate that. So I'm not sure why. It's character design. And you guys decide. It's up to the chat to decide bird crotch or what other animal would you put. How about this? If you were a superhero redesign, what animal would be featured on your crotch? Tell us in the chat. We'd love to know.
And hopefully everyone in the room would say elephant. And with that, I'll be right back. You go ahead.
Okay.
And I'll be listening on, but I'll mute for a second.
Sounds good. I'll be the drone right now. So appreciate everyone for jumping in the stream tonight. So I did something today. I went and saw a movie, and I was a little disappointed. I want to get into some specifics, but my movie viewing experience though was kind of better. I gotta say, this is the first movie I watched since COVID. And it was a little bit better because of it, I think. So we'll get into. I'm going to skip this one, and we'll get to the story. Movie theater and COVID cases. So we're going to get into this. It'll be good. I'm already seeing some back crotch. V is for freedom. Oh my. Let's see. Where are her organs? Hill Clint, Hill Charlie, Hill Chat. Hill, welcome. A sloth. That I feel like there needs to be explanation to that one, or maybe not. Maybe it is explanation enough. There was a pretty good Vixen animated miniseries on the CW. Looks like they are requiring an all-back creative team on this book. Oh, they're requiring? Ooh. I don't like required by this color of your skin. That's weird. Firebird? ? All right. Snake. A big snake. That's true. That could be it. Unicorn. I love you guys. All right. Okay. So this was from Bleeding Fool. We moved from Bleeding Cool to Bleeding Fool. We got so many great responses. I don't know if you heard those, Charlie. They're great.
I was listening.
We're over to Bleeding Fool now, and So here's a good question: where are all the movie theater COVID cases? Still not one reported. Not one COVID case from a movie theater. So I have my own anecdotal evidence, and as you do on the internet, I'm going to apply this to everything. So I'll tell you exactly why there are no COVID cases. That's because no one was there. I had the whole theater. I was there with my wife, and there were two other couples. We had this entire theater to ourselves. So we were socially distanced. This is normal. You know how like you go to the bathroom stall and it's like a customary not to, if all the stalls are open, you don't park right next to the one guy that's in there. It's just natural social distancing. So, it was like that. We didn't want to sit by anybody. So we sat out by ourselves, and Hey Manifesto's already got it figured out. Please don't say you saw Tenet. That was disappointing. I did see it, and I agree 100%. It was very disappointing. But at least I got to get out and see a movie. I'm trying to look on the bright side. We bought tickets to Tenet because I thought it looked good. I saw when we got started that it was Cinescope. Brought to you by Christopher Nolan, who has done some fantastic films. Christopher Nolan is good at what he does.
Following is rad. It was his very early one. Very film noir.
Christopher Nolan did that. I didn't realize that. I've not seen that one, but I knew he did like Memento. He did Inception, which began his, I think, fascination with time travel and weird. I don't know how to say it, but weird plot stuff that just muddles things up. He made that World War II movie that messed up with time, and it was like going backward in time or forward up to one incident in time. It was just obnoxious. This Tenet was it was so hard to watch because of the time travel stuff. I think I've been ruined. I don't want to watch any more time travel anything ever again.
I don't like time travel.
I hope he stops it.
I didn't know Tenet was about that. Anytime movies have time travel, including the Avengers movie, I'm always thinking, oh, all right, we're doing that. So the writers gave up.
It's a cop-out. Well, it just like nothing has consequences when you can travel time.
Right.
It was rough. Sorry, Harrenberg says next week our comics will arrive at Black Cat Comics in Salt Lake City. Hey, our first store in Utah. Hey, congratulations. That's great. That store is not far away at all. I've not actually ever been there. I go to a different one. I just go to a different shop, but I've been meaning to go down there to check that one out. So yeah, no COVID cases. it's almost like they were so locked down that it would be impossible to get COVID. I think I had a bigger chance of getting COVID at home, honestly. No one was there. They were constantly spraying everything down with sanitizer. It smelled like a hospital and popcorn. And I don't know. And the movie was disappointing. It was pretty disappointing. So,
that was last night for you?
That was today, earlier today. Yeah. One.
You're out there living. I was home watching, I watched Bloodsport like I do every night, and Dune, finished Dune and thought, God, Lord, help me. and then I sought out because all I watch is cartoons now. Because I have such a Dumbo short attention span. I need cartoons and action. And I thought HBO Max has all the Warner Brothers stuff. I'm loving them. I'm going through them all. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, where's Bugs Bunny when he meets Hiawatha? Remember little baby Hiawatha? And I searched it out and I couldn't find it because my kids love Indians, Native Americans, right?
Oh.
So I thought, well, they're going to love this because they love Bugs Bunny and they love Native Americans. And couldn't find it anywhere. It's not anywhere. It's not on Amazon or anything. So I think it was just memory hold because of the sensitive nature of portraying an Indian.
Oh yeah,
a Native American Hiawatha.
PC, an American Indian. Yeah.
Yeah. Onward, Hiawatha. Onward, mighty warrior. And Hiawatha is the funny character he's the Elmer Fudd of the episode. So I think that's why they sort of memory hold it. I found it on Daily Motion, and it is. We watched it. Me and my wife watched it 3 times last night, and it was probably better than watching Tenet. There was no time travel. It was just action and comedy. Perfect.
That's what I wanted, and I went into it expecting like, oh, it's going to be like a James Bond or like Jason Bourne-esque film, but then it had also they introduced time traveling backward, and I was like, no, don't do this, and then it got so deep into it, it was just, oh man, I wish I could travel back in time and get my $20 back or whatever it was. All right, so where are all the COVID cases in movie theaters? So I have this theory that no movie, like they still didn't release Mulan. One of the saddest things is that Mulan came out on Disney Plus for $30, I believe is how much it costs to be able to stream it. And movie theaters were expecting Mulan to come to movie theaters. And so they had all this Mulan merch there. And it was the saddest thing I ever saw. You could get popcorn buckets with Mulan on it and t-shirts, things like that. But you couldn't watch the movie there. It's kind of depressing. So at the same time, COVID cases, I don't think that any major filmmaker wants to be the one responsible for the first COVID outbreak at a movie theater. And so maybe they're all hesitant to put movies out. I don't know, but there weren't any options. There was only a 1 o'clock option. I think there were a couple other movies, and they're still showing things like the original Star Wars trilogy in theaters, stuff that wasn't, that's not actually new movies, new material coming out. So I don't know if movie theaters are going to change, but I would expect, I don't know, I think around here, I think it'd be a little bit safer to have some more show times or something, show us some more movies.
They're showing Star Wars in theaters?
Yeah, at one of the theaters around here anyway. So
I want to go see that.
I know. I was like, actually, that sounds better than Tenet. Yeah, it does. It does indeed. So I want to check in with Fatal as well. So we reached 65K today, which is fantastic. We're still moving to that 70, or I said 65, right? Sometimes I say 56 and I invert it. But we're reaching for that 70K goal, which is less than $5,000 away, and we'll improve the printing when we get there. We're just going to do a quick commercial break here. I think what I'm going to do, yes, thank you, K Manifesto. Congrats on 65K. It's a big landmark. The further we get over 50K, it's just like the sky's the limit is what it feels like. So I'm going to
don't go to Tenet for $25. Get a book that you'll have forever instead of a Tenet movie that you go in and you're clearly Clint didn't get COVID, but you will. So don't go to the movie theater.
Right. Yeah.
Go
It's
online
natural.
there. Drop the $25. You'll get a book. You'll have it forever. The movie comes and goes.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's impossible to get COVID from a book too. So there's that. I think so. I mean, don't sue me if I'm wrong and you ever get it from a book. But all right, let's watch the trailer here for Fatal.
We've received a transmission from the planet Bandra. Shall we give it a listen?
I'm calling you because my planet is sick. And not the monarchy, not the royal guard, not a single person on this spinning rock seems to care. It started gradually. First, it got into our heads. By the time I realized something was wrong, by the time I woke up, they were already here. Things look perfect at first glance, but that's how the aliens work. That's how the invasion starts. A slow boil. I'm calling you because I can't trust anyone here. You're off planet. You're a professional. And I'm afraid we might already be dead.
Flynn? How shall I respond?
It's a job. Let's suit up.
Let's suit up. All right, so that's Fatal on Indiegogo right now. I want to get our beautiful faces back on screen here. I saw it was at Moot Point said, I hope you're talking about us. Over 1,000 backers. Did I see that right? Fantabulous. That's right. We're quickly approaching 1,300 backers. I think that's it's only 39 away, so we're getting really close to hitting that. Or sorry, 49. We're getting really close to hitting that 1,300 backers, which is amazing. Anything over 1,000 is great, but I think we're moving.
I want to see 2,000. I want to see 2,000.
2,000.
Can we do 2,000? We got 3 weeks left, right?
I think it's doable. 21 days left on this campaign. I think a lot of people kind of let it. They're like, okay, we're waiting for the end of the campaign or something. But it's a great time to get in and back it now. And I don't know, it's a good time. So we'll check back in on this, and I've got to refresh it because it bothers me that I don't see that. So I'm just gonna refresh it. I just want to see the thumbnail. There we go. So check it out right now. Don't forget to back it.
Hey, you know what we don't have up in that picture? I don't know if can you do this? All the little pictures underneath the main picture, so people could see all the pictures right on top. You know what I mean?
Like you like the gallery, the photo gallery thing here. We could do that.
So all the pictures that are underneath, somebody could just scroll through them up on top.
Sure, yeah.
Does anybody care about that?
I have no idea. I can add them though. It's easy enough to do. I always wonder. It was I think Brian Shearer that said I never watch the video whenever anybody does anything, so I'm not going to put a video. But that was like last year. This year, now the video trailers, everybody is showing them in their live streams and whatnot, and it almost seems like now it's a huge factor. Like it's a big deal. So who knows? I'm not really sure where people land on that. But yeah, let us know. Do you look through the image gallery? I know I do on live streams sometimes. We have guests that bring their stuff on.
It's that top section. I always click through that. That's what I look through.
Okay.
And then I scroll down.
There's an example then. So yeah, we can add it. That doesn't hurt. Doesn't take very long either. I could probably do it in 5 minutes or so. So I'm going to look at this one now. What I'd love to have your boy Zach on here again. It's been a long time. I think he's really only streamed. I think it's been like twice, I guess, that he's come on. But he posted this, and yet he's been showing updates of his cover progress. And now that I'm looking at the hair on this guy, I watched this. Did you know that Dave Finch has a YouTube channel? I don't know how long it's been around, but it's fantastic. I watched one on drawing hair, and I don't feel like I'm any closer to being good at drawing hair, but it was just mesmerizing to watch him draw. It was impressive. Anyway, but yeah, he posted this and he sort of buried the lead here a bit. He said, I think I'm going to stop doing daily reviews of new comics at the end of the year. Interest has waned. The mainstream comic book industry has developed into mostly producing extremist propaganda and Netflix pitches. And I am as uninterested as those things at the phantom audience that they are made for. Let's see, does he actually have more? In 2021, I'll make videos about crowdfunding and making comics, as well as select videos in a sort of cartoonish kayfabe vein in which I look at comics from all over the world. Anyway, here's today's progress on my variant cover for Jawbreaker's Grand Bazaar. Okay, so he made a good point here, and I have a little bit of insight into this as well, only because I make YouTube videos on the same kinds of content, and I can tell you that interest in comic book reviews it's so dead, even for crowdfunded comics. Like for some reason, even some great ones. I've got one I'm going to do tomorrow, like an unboxing. It's not really a review. I don't do reviews, but people are just less interested in that kind of stuff, and they're more interested in people talking about comics that excite them. Hence, I think why he's doing the cartoonist kayfabe sort of angle. People are interested in that kind of content, which is very different from reviews. And then people are interested in knowing about what's going on in the comic book industry, which is why I'm mainly always making videos on what's happening in the comic book industry, just because it seems like that's what is interesting people the most. I don't know if it's like watching a train accident or something in slow motion and you just can't look away. That could be the case. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's why he's sort of making this change. And I've noticed too, and I think you brought this up, Charlie. I used to watch some of his comic reviews. I don't watch them anymore. I'm more interested in his other videos on the industry anyway. It's not like an intentional thing. I just, I'll pass this video,
When I was buying books and reading them and thinking, what's happening? Then I was there with him thinking, this guy's, he's putting it into words what I was thinking. And then, I don't know, once you stop buying them because you think, well, they're all terrible. They're all an affront, just destroying themselves before we even get there, then there was no point of ever looking again. So I would say at least 9 months I wasn't looking at his sort of daily book reviews because I wasn't buying the books. I have Adam Post's College of the Dead and R.T. Bear's Black and White and Cyberfrog and Graveyard Shift, and that's it. I'm not buying another bad Spider book.
Right.
They're done.
For me, that's been a huge factor in that I've got so many books that I want to read that I'm happy to read that I don't want to spend my valuable time and money on books that I know they're not going to impress me, So I guess maybe I'm not watching those reviews either because I'm like, the decision's already made. I have such low expectations that I'm not really interested in seeing, oh, maybe this is good. Maybe I could read this. I don't know. Could be part of it. All right. Super chat. Appreciate it from Gamsey Makara or Gamsey Makara. I'm so sorry. I probably slaughtered that. It says 12 Monkeys, Time Bandits, Army of Darkness, Terminator, time travel themed comic from Sweet Cats next. That's very unlikely, I think. I think if you were going to do what's that?
Those are excellent time travel stories, but
yeah,
I don't know what Tenet was, but those stories are all built into them is the idea of the time travel and somebody saying, all right, here's what this story's about. Not
Right.
the story's been going on for 5, 3, or 10 years, and now somebody's going to travel through time to solve something. That's what the preposterous thing is. When, how are the Avengers going to get out of this? They're going to travel through time. Oh,
Right.
then never mind. What were these 30 movies about? Army of
Right.
Darkness is incredible. Terminator,
It's
the point is time travel.
Right.
Nobody would watch Back to the Future and say, "Oh, I hate when they use the plot device of time travel." No, the point is time travel.
Yeah,
So.
that's the movie. Yeah, no, Tenet was this. It became such a huge part of the movie, but it's supposed to surprise you that it's such a huge part of the movie. So you get through, I don't know, like you probably get in like a good 20 minutes, and then you're introduced to the thought that there's bullets from the future, which seems crazy anyway how that all worked. But then like a good 30 minutes in, maybe 35 minutes, then you find out, oh, this is a time travel movie. Like that's essentially what this is about.
Are you giving away spoilers?
Yeah, I don't know. Nah, you can see that in the trailer if you pay attention.
Okay.
Like, why are bolts going backward?
Before, when I said in Dune they kill Sting, I got this twinge of, oh no, did I just ruin a terrible movie for someone? And then I realized, no, if I just ruined a terrible movie for someone, it's a spoiler from 40 years ago. I might as well be talking about, and then Rhett left Scarlett O'Hara, and he told her I'd give it to him. This is big spoilers.
I think you're safe then from spoilers. I won't give away. I don't even understand enough about Tenet to spoil too much. I'll say that. I'm still like,
thinking, I'm not smart enough for this movie. I couldn't keep up.
Well, and it wasn't like with Inception, I felt like it was some mental exercise to try and wind what happened, but I could do it. With this, it's like I have no confidence that after I spend that mental energy that I'll come out with feeling better. I feel like it's still going to be like a mess. Like, I don't know. It's just, it wasn't worth it. Let's see. Finding reviews boring. Let's see. As for people finding reviews boring, that may be true. I don't know. Okay.
I never did until I wasn't reading them. It was, and then Clint, you and Zach always kept trying to save the industry. That was always your point of view, and I was always thinking, it's done, it's finished, we're past it. And you guys kept going, and I was always thinking, no, Zach, what are you fighting for? That is long dead.
And I don't know if I can take too much credit there because I kind of came a little late, but it was more the industry stuff is what interested me. Like, I want to make comics, but there's so many comics out there that I don't have to ever buy a new comic. I would like to buy new comics, but you don't really have to. There's enough out there. You can find good stuff, a lot of classics, all sorts of good stuff. And so I don't know, but I like the idea of new comics being made. I like the idea of there being a future and what's the next big thing that could happen in comics. That I think that excites me. And so it's a little perhaps disappointing that there's not as much as I'd like.
The next big thing will be everyone's canceled.
Yeah.
And then when everyone's canceled, no one is. And then let them have the cancel culture, and we'll have the creation culture. We'll keep creating stuff, and let goofballs with a political agenda argue about who's not allowed in.
Yeah. Quoth the Raven, Lewis Bright Raven says, Clint, I do reviews regularly, have creators on my podcast, but nobody watches. Possibly because I'm sort of on a hiatus as a creator. Yeah, comics are a tough niche. They're really small, really. If you're talking about comics, I know a lot of people, you'll look at there are a few big channels out there. Comics Historian and Comics Explained are massive. People think of Ethan's channel as huge, but really, as far as YouTube channels go, it's like it's big enough to exist, but it's not massive. When you've got like 1 million subscribers and more, those are like big channels, and there aren't many of them in comics, but really it's about the history of comics or people just finding quick information that they want to learn. And so I don't know, but the market for people on YouTube looking specifically for current comic book information is just not as big as it is like in video games, for instance, or other places. So it gets really hard to stand out, especially because there's so many people doing live streams just like this, videos, all sorts of stuff out there. So it gets tough. So I feel for you. I know when I first started out, it was like when I got 30 views on a video, I would get really excited. Like I've achieved it. I'm here. I've got 30 views. So I don't know.
What comic channel has 1 million?
I think Comic Historian or Comics Explained, I think both have 1 million or close to it. I think. I'll have to look it up.
That's crazy. That's a. What are they? Kardashians? Are they showing their gigantic butts?
It's all just like informative. Here we go. Here's Comics Explained. Don't play the video. I just want to look at the YouTube channel. Here it is. Comics Explained. He's got 1.86 million subscribers.
What?
Massive channel.
Oh my God.
But it's basically just explaining like what happened to the comics. So it's almost like these are comics for people that don't read comics, or maybe you're trying to just catch up on something.
It is sort of written in the Comics for Dummies font. Right?
That's true. I didn't think about dummies. That. Oh yeah.
Look at the big red and black and white.
Yeah, and he's got 3.9 million views on some of these videos. Like, it's got a ton of views.
And there's no nudity? There's no Kardashians?
It's just all, I think, straightforward. I don't actually watch a ton of these videos, really. I've watched maybe 2 or 3 is all. But he just explains things. I think he does a good job formatting his videos. Everything's pretty focused. But he's just, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what it is. But man, yeah, this is a big comics YouTube channel.
Wow. I love it.
And here's my number 1 fan, Hyen, says, that's because they focus on comics and not drama coming from the haters. I mean, drama or you just having an opinion, I guess. They have opinions too, but there are not many channels out there like Comics Explained or Comics Historian. There are 2 of them, in fact. But I don't know, if you can do it, if you can build a channel up from the ground and focus on like how to write comics, I would love to do that. People aren't interested. Everyone thinks they're just a born writer. They don't want to learn about writing. They are just God's gift to writing. That's the one thing that I've learned. So it gets tough. Yeah, what's this? Comics Explained, Comic Story, and Comic Book Girl 19 are the biggest ones, probably. I forgot there is a Comic Book Girl 19 too.
I've never heard of any of those. Why is that her age? I hope she's not 19.
I don't know. I think she's been around a little while, so maybe she started it when she was 19. I don't know, but again, I would describe these as comics channels for people that don't read comics. I don't mean that in like a slight, but I mean that in it's like accessible to people like, what happened in this comic? Like you want information on something. I mean, I still like comic tropes. I enjoy his channel, even though I know he thinks I'm, part of a hate group or something like that. But I think he makes good videos. Charlie, don't worry. He thinks you're part of a hate group too. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
You meant hat, right? Hat.
A hat group.
It's a hat
yeah,
group.
I've got my hat. I guess that works then. So your boy Zach is changing things up with his channel, which is a good idea. I think every so often it's nice to just switch things up with your channel, especially if you're seeing, you can't just clutch onto the same topics. And I see this problem with some YouTubers. They'll cling on to something that hasn't been working for them or like used to work, but it's starting to fall off and it's to their own detriment. So if you can be agile and sort of change, I think that's a good idea. So I actually do like his cartoonist kayfabe like videos where he just will pull up like, hey, here's something from Europe, and he'll go over it and give some of his thoughts. I think that those are just more interesting videos in general. So kudos to him. I think that's a good idea. All right. So next up, we talked about that. J.J. Abrams. I guess this is the next story. Let's take a moment though to promote.
J.J. Abrams. It's him. Was that you that did the video about him and his kid? I thought, oh my god.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of videos out there, but yeah, man, I don't understand that. it gets a little crazy.
Now's the part where we tell everybody I'm actually Clint's son. I'm Clint's oldest son, and I look older than him. And Clint he only gave me this opportunity because I am his firstborn son.
Right.
And I said, Dad, when you die, do I get
this has nothing to do with it?
Do I get the window cleaning service? Clint said, No, but I'll let you draw one of the books I write. And I said, all right, I'll take that deal. I'll take it. You gave me my shot. So I took my shot. And now here it is. This is that scene right there. That's just one of the times I was on the roof and I looked down at Clint as he was cleaning windows. And I imagined what it would look like instead of he was cleaning windows if there were monsters attacking him and he was blowing them away with a giant laser.
That would have been a lot more fun and less dangerous, I'm sure. But
that is how you hang on to the side of buildings when you clean windows, right?
Oh man, I do ladder work. They actually say the rope stuff is safer, and so I started to look into it a little bit. Because ladders are incredibly unsafe when you get up on high ladders and stuff. But
a lot of men have gone and died a lot of ways on ladders. You know who haven't? A lot of women have not died on ladders. This is a man's death. He fell off a ladder. That's how he broke his head.
Horrible story. I had a coworker that was like, "Oh, I was going to be trimming. I was going to be cutting down a whole tree in my backyard that was sort of up in the power lines. And I was like, this can't be. We got to take this tree down." And so I was going to do it myself. And he's like, "Well, I hope you got the power company coming." It's like, yeah, they're going to shut the power off, It's like, oh, good, because my neighbor did it one time and climbed up that ladder, and I don't know what happened, but he got the power line and he got shocked and he stayed up in the tree for hours. I was like, what? This was a terrible story. And I was like, I don't want to cut this thing down anymore. Even though they're taking the power, they took it down completely, But anyway, that went out of left field. But yeah, man, men die on ladders.
Women don't die on ladders. And my whole life I've always thought, well, it's because men climb ladders and women don't. Men do dumb things on ladders. Artie Lang's father crippled himself. Everybody knows Artie Lang, right? Artie Lang's father crippled himself because he had to reach up to a certain part of the roof. So he took two picnic tables and pushed two picnic tables together and put a ladder on top of the picnic tables and then climbed. And the whole thing collapsed, and Artie Lang's father fell and became paraplegic or something in his 60s or 70s. That's what happens to men. And I'm starting to think, because women don't climb ladders, but sometimes we do climb ladders, and they don't fall off as often. I was always very sexist in my thinking, and I'm going to rearrange it a little bit maybe to get with the times. Maybe women climb ladders, and maybe they're, like all things, just better at it. The lower center of gravity. They just have a better balance, and they're not going to fall off. I don't know, man. Do I have something, or am I just pandering?
I don't know. I think women just don't climb ladders as often. Possibly.
All right, that's probably it.
Maybe. I don't know. It seems like it. Sometimes I'd hire people to do windows, and I could never get. I'd ask again, same groups of teenagers in my neighborhood. Like, hey, I'll hire you. Like, if you'll help me. The same ones that will stuff books, I can get the girls to do that, but they don't want to climb up ladders. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. That could be. Herrenberg says EVS and Comic Tropes have almost the same number of subscribers. Holy cow! Comic Tropes has grown that much.
Wow.
I think he had I started watching his channel. He had like 25,000 subscribers. I know he's grown a ton, but that is a lot. He might be over 100, huh? 100K. We'll look that up.
I think I watched one video of his 2 years ago or maybe a year ago about Alpha Flight because I love John Byrne. So, and I think I was just searching for what happened to John Byrne. Is he still doing anything? And I was kind of tooling around and found a comic strip video about Alpha Flight and listened for 8 seconds and thought, I know this. I've read Alpha Flight. I stopped. This doesn't help me at all. This is not John Byrne or John Byrne Robotics.
You're like current John. Yeah, like what's going on?
I saw a video about him a year or two ago that he was going to do an XMen book. And that was it. And then I kind of, maybe a couple of weeks ago, I sort of said, is John Byrne on Twitter? And there was somebody on Twitter. There was just a regular guy. I was going to say regular D-bag. That guy doesn't deserve it. He's just a guy named John Byrne that isn't the John Byrne I was looking for. It doesn't make him a D-bag.
He's probably a super nice guy that was always getting confused.
Yes.
For an artist.
There was one other person who said, I am not John Byrne. I just post stuff about John Byrne. And I thought, it sounds like something John Byrne would do. That's John Byrne.
You're like, I want evidence. Yeah, some of these guys would be great to have on. Like, I'm realizing you can get, once I got Kevin Eastman on here for an interview, I realized there's a lot of people I could probably get on for interviews, you know, because again, get contact information is the main thing, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to look around at some people. That'd be fun to get some interviews and stuff again.
To get an even more obscure idea in everybody's head, my buddy used to he would just go to businesses. Hey, do you have a T-shirt about your business? Can I have one? He would just, all of his gear, all of his clothes were businesses that he just walked into and just said, you have a shirt about your business? Can I have one? And I would just say, why are you wearing all these? He's wearing the deli. It's the corner deli shirt. Or he would just call a radio station and just say, hey, Hot 97, you guys have shirts? Can you send me a shirt for free? And they would just say, yeah, all right. And they would just send him shirts. And then he would, that's what his clothes were.
So he just have to buy a wardrobe.
Just ask.
Right. What's the worst that can happen? I don't know, I get sick of, wear so many shirts that free ones like that I'd rather not, but
What's
this
the blue
one,
is that your business shirt? Is it your window cleaning?
No. Well, I bought it. I did buy, I bought it so I could look professional cleaning windows, but there's nothing embroidered on it or anything. I'm cleaning a lot less windows these days, which is nice. I've limited it so much. I keep turning people down.
Look who just came down.
Supposed to be in bed.
Look, there's Clint. Every time you talk about your window cleaning thing, I think of Walt Whitman. No, not Walt Whitman. Walter. What was the Breaking Bad show?
Yeah, Walter White.
Was that the show?
Yeah.
I was thinking, Clint. He's portraying himself as this clean-cut, nice guy with a window of all these businesses. He's just a meth dealer.
Yeah.
Wave high.
Cooking it in the basement.
All right. Now, do you want to ask me something?
Hi.
You think there's a fly in your bedroom? All right, Clint, I'm going to go check out the fly.
Okay. In the meantime, we're going to look at this T-shirt. So we got 14 people back this T-shirt, which has been fantastic. If you've already backed Fatal and you'd like a T-shirt to, I don't know, just help you look snazzy or whatever you want to do with your T-shirt, it's your business. It's your T-shirt. Check it out. You can back it in the campaign now. Another thing too is I got a question about the artist edition on Twitter today. Somebody said, hey, this artwork looks amazing. I wish you had a book in black and white. And I anticipated that people would ask such a question. So we made just that. This is the artist edition. There's no lettering. That was a question. What's in it? No lettering. The answer to that was, thank goodness, you're a genius. I know. Thank you. I can't even remember who it was on Twitter, but I feel like everyone knows this stuff, but maybe they don't. So the artist edition is just black and white, just the line art, nothing else. So you can enjoy the book in its full black and white glory. And then, of course, the main book here as well. So if we haven't backed it yet, help us get to 70K. We're going to keep climbing and pushing this campaign to new heights. I'm going to copy the link again and post it in the chat. And if you already have backed it and, I don't know, you're tapped of cash or anything like that, but you still want to help us out, share it out on social media. I am finding that Twitter actually does help. It's just that I'm not getting metrics from those numbers of people backing from Twitter. But what I've noticed is if I have, if I'm posting something and saying, hey, we have this many backers left, get in there. Like if there's specific calls to action, I need to get better at that on streams though. Then people seem to back. So I'm sure that they come from Twitter. So it's been helpful. So I'm trying to justify Twitter usage, and I think that helps. I just need not to put opinions on Twitter. That's the only problem. Marsh Makes Comics says, can you get the artist edition alone? We don't have a tier for artist edition alone, and the reason being is just because you can't read the story. And so my only concern is that someone was going to get the black and white edition thinking that like, yeah, I'm set to go, but you don't actually have any lettering in there. So that's kind of why we made that decision. So I hope that works. We actually haven't really had many people. I think you're only the second person that's asked about that. So I hope that works for you. All right. So we're going to move on. Here we go. This is our final story of the evening. Bounding into comics. And not to say we're not going to stream, you know, we'll see where the night takes us. But Bounding into Comics, report J.J. Abrams working on multiple Justice League Dark spinoffs for HBO Max. So maybe you remember HBO Max started, they're doing this sort of strange partnership where DC Comics will make up new characters, new stories, and make comics for them specifically for HBO Max. Why? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to plan on making movies about them, making I don't know, but they've got this relationship going. It's in its infancy, I would say. So J.J. Abrams is working on things. J.J. Abrams in the past did that Spider-Man book. Turns out it was kind of his name on it, and it was really his son that was doing most of the writing. I heard it was actually pretty good. So to be fair, I'll give him that. But it is a little silly, kind of a silly way, I guess, to get your son into comics. It seems like after that one job, though, he'd be able to do anything in comics, and he could probably do these HBO series or whatever. They could find something for him to write. So I don't know in this case if it legit is just J.J. Abrams for some reason wanting to write comic books. Maybe this is considered bringing out the big guns because they want to push out this relationship with HBO Max and DC. It could be. I'm all not that sure, but let's sort of dig into this article a little bit. Whether J.J. Abrams would proceed with spin-offs of HBO Max Justice League Dark series starting more popular member of the team is answered. An article by The Hollywood Reporter about an upcoming series for John Cena's Peacemaker yet to grace screens. Not much is gracing screens lately. How many movies are there in the hopper right now that haven't come out to these theaters? But that's beside the point. Let's see. It mentions Zatanna and John Constantine are being primed for their own streaming shows.
John Constantine, the comic book?
Yes.
That Keanu Reeves movie was good.
Yeah. I mean, so why are they making an HBO series then? Is it going to have Keanu Reeves?
Because everything's better as a series. No,
is it?
But everything's better as a series, right? I think so. As long as they don't go the route of what was I just talking about when the Nazis win? The Man in the High Castle. When every scene is three people talking in a dark room about how they feel about how the Nazis won or whatever. Here, wait, but never mind all that. Look at this picture you've got on the screen. God damn it, I hate that shit. I know those are traced photographs, and then painted nice, okay.
How can you tell they're
Are they comic books or
I
are
look-
they?
Or is it like some marketing gimmick?
I don't
where
because they're just a little.
they're stiff.
Well, for advertising, it's almost there's see that's why I like what Donald DeLay does, and I like what Kelsey does. They're bouncy, they're fun. I love Warner Brothers cartoons. Those pictures, listen, whoever did those, they look great. They do the job. That's not what I'm looking for in any book ever, because I want stuff that photos can't do. And the lighting's nice, the textures are nice, everything's beautiful. So really, the criticism is really just a taste, and whether it's a character design and I think the most important is panel to panel. Never mind the covers. Is this what's going to be? You can't see the hardest. Marsh Makes Comics says you can't see the artist's hand at all. That's right, because they just look like really clean illustrations. And I went to school for illustration. I've worked for 17 years to make images like that. And when you make a comic book, though, what you want is to turn down all the dials that are about being accurate and right. And I want to turn up all the dials that are fun and popping, bouncing and fun, and spinning and designing and style. Those two images, that's a skilled illustrator. What's the style? What's the fun of it? I don't know what the fun of it is. That's my biggest complaint all the time about what all the newer books look like. Right. Those are advertising images.
Yeah. And I totally agree. There's something about, I don't know, if I want, realism in comics that is less impressive to me. I guess if I'm seeing people draw it in a very realistic style, it can be cool. But when I'm reading comics, I like it less realistic because there's almost more escapism in that. You know, okay. I talked about this with my wife in the car. They have that Black Panther movie coming out, not the superhero, the Malcolm X one. And it's like, there's something about watching a disaster movie that it's fun because your life is boring. You know what I mean? Like, you're not experiencing a disaster. So watching a disaster movie is like, oh, what would happen? Right now, if there's a movie that came out about a global pandemic, no one's going to want to watch that. You know, it's like you want to escape. You want to escape a global pandemic. It's not interesting now. It's not fun. So to me, like in comics, same thing. Or like, the Malcolm X thing is, it's like that's like not. It's like not the right time. It's like the last thing that you'd want to escape into right now, or like explore. I want to like explore one about like racial unity or something, like Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon. Give us like a new Lethal Weapon or something. I don't know.
Well, so what you're saying is the world is providing that. And what I'm saying the same thing, which is essentially photographs provide this. I remember being a young person and I refused to use photo reference. And my whole ethos was, I don't even want to use photo reference. I want to make everything up. And so nothing I did looked as good. So people were progressing on a different track than I was. And I was over in a different direction saying, what I want to do is, I think John Maylin's similar. He wants style, right?
Yeah.
So, and he has a lot of it. Where I remember, I think just some guy was talking about how somebody was criticizing Maylin's first Jawbreakers book. What did he do with Zag for
Eric
the fingers
Larson.
or something?
Eric
Larson. That's why we're there. We're there. it was that pedophile. He's a pedophile. Yeah. He draws like a pedophile, doesn't he? We all see it, right? Eric Larson draws like a pedophile. He either draws like a pedophile or one of those guys that only likes redheads. We all know that guy, right? He only loves redheads. He's obsessed with redheads. And any redheaded girl is not safe around him because he's going to be... I'll stop there.
Sniffing hair. So his drawings, there are some that are just so bad. I I don't read Savage Dragon, but like I saw some images and I would not show them on screen on this channel. Not for like my desire to be PG, but because I'm afraid they would legit take my channel down based off of some of the artwork. It's bad.
Well, not that. I mean, talking about the aforementioned John Byrne, who I love, and clearly, here's the strangest part. So did Eric Larson, because there's a stretch. I don't know the exact number, but it's right after John Byrne was drawing The Trial of Reed Richards. I don't know the number. Fantastic Four. I don't know the numbers. I just have the two big fat John Byrne Fantastic Four books. There's The Trial of Reed Richards, and then maybe it's issue 465 or something. And he starts doing them twice a month. So John Byrne is pumping out Fantastic Four books. And he's writing Alpha Flight, and he's writing something else, and he's drawing 2 Fantastic Four books and writing 2 Fantastic Four books a month. It's at this sort of low point of what they look like. That sometimes you could see where Eric Larson took his whole look from the worst that John Byrne ever looks when he's doing, 50 pages a month while he's writing several books. Eric Larson took his whole look from there. So, I mean, it used to be Todd McFarlane would be on a book and everyone would say, this is so much fun. This is such a fun book. And then he would leave and Eric Larson, the pedophile artist, would come in and copy the worst version of John Byrne and put that out as a fun book. And it was always so disappointing. It was it was so bad. He is a weirdo. Oh, Marsh Makes Comics. You like? Oh man, you're killing me. I love Eric's art. One of the few who really captured that Kirby type energy. He is a weirdo.
Yeah.
You like him?
Hey, there's this conversation always comes up too with I love Phil Noto's art. I think it's like it's amazing, even though it's totally not traditional comic art. I just love it. And some people, they make fun of him all the time. I love Mike Mignola's work, even though like lately people have been roasting him over shoulders, like Zach was, and people on Twitter. I still I love his artwork. But yeah, I mean that's the fun part though, is like you like different stuff. But and it kind of gets back into the. We're done with this story, by the way. There's not much else to say. But same thing here though, is just you have a variety of artwork, and to me, yeah, if you can get it in photos, then why put it in comics the same way?
The photos can provide it. Why bother? So I was always of the mind of, if you could, I mean, that's such a good image, but is that what I want panel to panel in a book? No. And Marsh Makes Comics, good point. The energy's there in a Larson drawing.
I think he's done some good stuff. But
it's all stiff.
Yeah. I like this.
He does action well. But
what's this?
Pretty. It's nice. I don't know what
digital
that character is.
This is Zatanna, I think.
Oh, how did they do it?
Yeah, I mean this is like digital painting. I'm presuming. I don't know. That just looks like a ton of coloring
that kind
work.
Of thing for storyboards.
It's cool, man. I like it.
No, well, maybe some paint.
Some pink.
It's harder to make it's harder to make a panel to panel. I mean, I've done images similar to that for Heidi Klum to sell shampoo, and it's you use reference, and I've had a lot of teachers who said you're only as good as your reference, and I would always say, what if you're not using reference? What if you're just making it up? Well, then that's why it's a cartoon, right?
Yeah.
But that's harder. You have to have this working knowledge of things, and then a working knowledge of how to put the story together, move it from panel to... Making panels is harder than, I think, an image as pretty as that Zatanna image was. What we're doing here we're lacing stories together. This is not 3 people being bored in a room in Man in the High Castle. This is action and plot and character design all moving forward together, while box to box represents this chronological zipping forward. not necessarily a chronological zipping forward. Maybe it's chronologically all happening at once. So I mean, Hitchcock, the game was play with time. So that's what we're doing. We're playing with time on the pages. Show people this is happening right now, and this is happening right now. So on the far left, there's Moxie in her red, and she's pointing over her behind her. Look what's happening over my shoulder, the explosion. At the same moment, so it's not left to right chronologically this happened. You could look at this page and say this all happened at once. Because on the left of your screen, Moxie's pointing to the sky. Then she's in the main picture in the center where it's all happening again. And then at the top right, Kit is bored by the whole idea of leaving the comfort of the spa treatment that they're all in with the aristocrats and their personalized drones. That's all at once, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the fun of a book. You can't even get that in a movie. You can't. I mean, I think they tried that in that Eric Bana movie when he was the Hulk, right? They kind of tried to show different. That was the only movie I really saw them try that, where they actually tried to make panels on the screen and have, Jennifer Connelly's hot and she's upset, and her father's he hates Eric Bana. Who was that? Was that who was it? Sutherland's father? The father Sutherland? I hate that.
Donald.
I hate that handsome Bana. Donald Sutherland. I hate that handsome Aussie. I hate that. Yes, I hate that handsome Aussie. Get him out of there. He's trying to take my daughter out, and he turns green. And then it shows Eric Bana and he says, I'm gonna get angry, and then it all happens at once. That was pretty cool. I actually liked that movie. I mean, it's not great, but they tried it. Yeah. You get to do that in a book where, all right, so here's the monsters jumping on him, and then the monsters on him, and at the same moment, there's the dripping stuff. You get to play with time in a different way that in a good action movie, I think we've talked about, where Jackie Chan, he jumps down the thing and then he throws a punch, and then they'll cut and they'll show the same punch from a different angle. You can, if you're playing with art the right way, then you're going to zip through time. You're going to slow down dramatic moments and you'll speed up other ones. And here's action and here's emotion and roll them all together, and that's the fun of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can Eric Larson do that?
There's
or does
different.
He just want to date 14-year-olds?
I feel like he's just trying to break the record on issues is what it comes down to. That's what it seems like anyway. But yeah, this is the experience in making this book with you has kind of opened my eyes a little bit too, is from a writing perspective. It's so easy to say panel 1, this happens, panel 2, this happens, and it's sort of this chronology of events. But to look at it as a page as a whole, you can kind of see what you would do with this space on a single page. What is the reader seeing all at once now on the page in the book, and how can you most effectively show what's happening? And that's not, I don't know. I think this is going to make my writing better for it. But I've been playing with it a little bit.
Well, what you're saying is this one's a little more straightforward. Panel 1, that's an establishing shot. They're on top of the floating barge. And then panel 2, he's tossing the creature off him. Panel 3 is the opposite angle. He's throwing the creature off. And then panel 4 is the punitive. He's running away, shooting his 6-gun as he's running away, and realizing all these creatures are climbing on top of him. And then hidden by Jason Black's flying, I don't know what he told us, is Flynn jumping over the edge of the floating barge, tossing the grenade back between his legs as everything blows up. And then what's going to happen next? Oh, it's so exciting. It is every bit of it. It gets me to. That's the most straight ahead chronological panel to panel that at least we've showed on the IG page.
At least so far.
But yeah, you
And
can.
yeah.
Each page is supposed to pull somebody in, and you pull somebody in by the variety, right? Establishing shot, action shot, and then the middle panel where he's throwing him is the monster's coming towards us, right? So you're in the world. Each panel could be a little movie shot.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah. I love it. I think the cool thing is you're basically changing the format. Even if you watch film, this is something comics do that film can't do, and that is change like the aspect ratio. Yeah, you still have the total page, but with panels, you can do all sorts of things with panels. And this page is one example of some really, really creative stuff that's in this book. A few things here I want to point out in the chat. First off is that Jason Black says we're really close to 100K in New Zealand. That would make us Kiwi 100K. I think that's how close exactly. We've got to convert that to US dollars so we can start promoting that. That would be great, Jason. If I don't know if you could figure out how close are we exactly. Got a $5
Did I
super
see
chat.
Riot Press?
Riot Press, yeah, he's been saying
how did you
hi.
go from?
Let's see. He said, "I'm watching on the TV with my wife asleep in my lap." We'll try to not be too loud.
You watch on the TV?
We're on TVs all over the world.
That's a whole different level of.
I know. Too close to the pores. Too close. Paul Riley for $5. Thank you very much. Says, Charlie, how did you go from working on commercial layouts to hooking up with Zach on Jawbreakers?
I posted sort of ninjas fighting on Twitter and an Iron Man drawing, and Zach contacted me within the hour. So I don't know. He was in the Army, but was he really a CIA agent? How could you be that quick and find people that quickly? I felt like Will Smith when I was Enemy of the State. And I sort of said, I don't know. Who are you? Call me. And then the phone rang. I thought, oh, he is serious.
Had you known about him?
Well,
you knew about him before he reached out to you?
In a limited way. I think I first, maybe occasionally would watch. I was listening to Kevin Smith's shows and heard his interviews with Jim Lee and Greg Capullo, and I was really queued up. Maybe that was 2014. I started drawing comics while I was working on commercial stuff and storyboards. I mean, storyboards are, a lot of people you can make a page the way a storyboard is formatted. Go across the top, panel 1, panel 2, panel 3, panel 4, panel 5, panel 6. Fine, that works. Sometimes that's better. Or you do the 9 Kirby layout.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 all the way across. Perfect. There's no need to go this crazy. It's a lot easier to and for sure in Fatal there will be, 1 through 5, 79. Boom, that's the page. Especially for a conversation when you want to get conversations through, or 6 or 4 or 5.
Right. Having the variety though is nice. Like having the variety of panels and pages, like how it looks, it's really great from a writing perspective too, because you can control the pacing with it. Like usually if you have lots of panels on a page and they're each showing like one short action, then it becomes like a fast, like shaky cam kind of feel, like you're just moving through action. It feels like a moment is moving quickly, or you can do like a big double page spread like we have there in the with Moxie and Kit, and there's so much detail and you can kind of spend your time in the moment, looking at things. And I don't know, these kinds of tools are just great for storytelling in comics. Couple other stuff from the chat I wanted to point out. So first, Jason Black says, so we're at 99,588 New Zealand dollars. So the difference, I mean, we're talking what, like 3 or 4 backers? I don't know. I don't know what that
down there.
converts
What are
to.
the what are they called? Kiwis. All right, we got all
Yeah,
Kiwis down there.
I'm not good at the difference here. K Manifesto says, I know he hates to hear it, but Charlie needs to do the colors. I had a few colorists reach out to me since we asked about it. I forwarded you some portfolio stuff. I don't know if you saw that email. And then I have another. I better not
I've been
drop
ignoring
any
it
names.
and just drawing.
That's good. It's all good.
I went on a full sort of maybe 4 days ago. I sort of ran out of social gas and just had to draw.
Yeah,
and that's really what I mean. Patrick's out there. He draws. I don't know how many people are out there. They draw, and I don't know how many of you have that, Clint. Maybe you're the same as a writer. Maybe the same. You hit us. I can always be sociable, or I can always stream and talk to. That's fun, but everybody must. Do you all feel that sort of? You have a tank of gas where you can sort of talk and participate, and then it eventually, I would imagine for comic people, it's a little more prevalent to sort of want to say, I've had enough with everybody, and I just got to go over here and do these things I do. Maybe it's a dude thing even,
cave time.
I'm going to work on my, what is it called? Yeah. Oh, that's a good
cave time. You have to retreat to your
time
retreat to your cave and
I'm going to make my drawings. Somebody else is going to work on their bike, wrench on a house, or the garage door needs fixing, and Dad's just got to go fix the garage door. Don't bother Dad when he's fixing the garage door, because first of all, he might throw a wrench at you. Second of all, he just needs to be alone with the garage door. And maybe for a lot of us, a comic book page is the garage door.
Right. I hear you. Sometimes you're just doing something with your hands. Writing's different in that it takes so much mental energy, and it's hard because streaming takes a lot of mental energy too, and just like being on it. And not that I'm rarely on it on a stream, but I don't know, you kind of turn it on. I'm more of an introvert than anything, and so it's difficult, but I get it. Nobody has sympathies for introverts in comics. Like you just have to muscle through it.
Art school kids and comic book people, there are a lot of introverts. So it's always I'm always curious what got Clint out of being an introvert, where it was Zach's videos, I think I've heard you say.
It was okay, so I wanted to make a YouTube video and just honestly talk about politics. So I started doing that first. So I had a YouTube channel. It was just like, I just want an outlet to like have an opinion with no consequences, and then I heard about the lawsuit with Mark Wade. And at first I thought, why is Mark Wade getting sued? And then I looked into it, and clearly he was in the wrong. And so that's really what got me into this.
I love how clear it is. It is so. Am I living in Fantasyland? It's so clear. It's now he just has to delay and obfuscate.
Yeah, he's just gonna make it cost as much money as he possibly can. I don't know how else to put it. Like, as soon as I saw that he was calling, because I saw all the mainstream stuff first. That's the narrative that I got, but I've been around enough to know that whenever you hear that web being spun, there's another side of the story. They're calling some guy racist for reading comics and making fun of SJWs and stuff. So I thought, these guys are lying about someone. So then I saw the Comedy Central thing. Did you ever see that video? Oof. That is cringy. Where they interviewed
no,
Zach.
But I had
on,
a buddy. Are we on a? We're delayed from each other. I'm gonna hang up for a second and try and come back because delay. Hang on.
A little bit of a delay. It's all good. Yeah. We're just sort of, I guess, going to a little bit of the history anyway. But it just clearly Mark Waid was wrong. That's all it came down to. So it didn't take me long to make the decision to start talking about this sort of stuff. But here we are. Anyway, we kind of got really fun conversation. Got off a little bit. I was trying to promote Fatal here. I think we did in a roundabout way though. So I appreciate everybody. I'm posting the link again. If you haven't backed it yet, help us out. This is one of those books that I think is a must-have. I think if you're into crowdfunding comic books, this one is notable. It is exceptional, not only because the artwork is fantastic, but one of the big things here is, I've heard people say you can't break into comics. Essentially, you can't make these big campaigns. You can't do six figures unless you're coming from the industry with experience. So you kind of still needed the industry, despite how much many of us are fed up with mainstream comics. In a lot of cases, it was like you still need the industry. I think that we're a great example. Charlie and I are proving that assumption wrong, because now we're two guys without names, without experience in the mainstream industry, who've worked very hard at developing our crafts. We've put together this story that we think that you all like, that it is void of any of the restrictions that mainstream comics are put through. And we're doing very, very well. So honestly, what I'd love to do is be able to hit a six-figure campaign. That's a huge goal, but we're already over halfway there. We're at 65,000. So we're trying to take this a bite at a time and move forward. So if you haven't backed it yet, help us out. The next step is 70K. The book just gets better at that point. Everyone's going to get upgraded print quality. And then we'll move on to another stretch goal and push this thing as high as we can get it. But it does say a lot that two guys can break into comics, so to speak, and put their names out there, put it on the line, and do a six-figure campaign. Honestly, that's what we're trying to shoot for. So appreciate everyone's help there.
Yeah, we're coming from nowhere. It's really exciting. I mean, how else would you? A couple people know the name Clint Stoker because it was whispered. It was whispered in certain rooms. He made a success story. He did two big campaigns.
He made
with Downcast. It was fantastic. Right?
People were saying on Kiwi Farms when I launched my first campaign, everybody was in these circles. Everyone was talking about it, saying,
"I've heard you and Vaughn say you had some trouble. You both had trouble with Kiwi Farms. They both asked you, and I keep thinking, is this our New Zealand friends again? Causing you trouble?
No, I hope not. No,
you made it almost got $100,000 down here with the Kiwis, all right? And then he also doxed you, you rotten bastard, Clint.
Yeah, yeah. No, they didn't dox me, as far as I know.
What is Kiwi Farms?
Kiwi Farms is it's a website where you can basically, the concept is you can say whatever you want. I guess I'm not chat. If there's somebody in there that has a great definition for Kiwi Farms, let me know. But it's basically just an online forum, kind of like 4chan, but not. The anonymity is not quite as enforced, but they get just information and it's collected. And I saw that people were just like, "Whoa, did you see this guy Clint Sweetcast? The guy that started that little YouTube channel? He got a campaign funded by himself on day one." And I would correct that. It wasn't by myself. It was the backers that got me on day one. But what they meant was I wasn't on Ethan's stream. I just did the fundamentals of crowdfunding. We're talking to a dinosaur puppet.
Hello, Clint. I heard you had quite a bit of trouble with your friends on Kiwi Farm. Now, what do they do to you, my friend?
They just talked about me. That's it. They said a few things. Nobody doxed me, but I guess Vaughn got doxed on Kiwi Farms.
Yes, he's had quite a bit of problems. Our dear friend, who happens to be quite a hunk. Have you seen him? He's a handsome lad.
We only hang out with hunks.
Yes, it's a good rule. only hanging out at Honks. Vaughn and Eric Weathers chap, he can write some letters, and he looks quite good doing it. And Jason Black, he's a handsome lad from Kiwi Farms down under.
He's in New Zealand. He's got information on it too. He says it used to be a good resource. They had the entire Mark Waid history screen caps and all, which is helpful because you only hear, again, he'll tell you like the one side of the story, but he won't tell you the other. And then he says New Zealand made kiwi farms illegal for a few months. I did not know that. That's kind of crazy.
I would have made them illegal as well. If you look at me, they made me illegal while I was down at Kiwi. You understand? I've been acting with this Flynn chap in the Fatal stories. As you see, I'm quite a debonair young gentleman. I'm vicious. They portray me as a vicious lizard, Clint. I'd like to be shown as the debonair chap that I am. They only want me to be a vicious monster in Fatal. But here I am, you see me. I'm quite debonair.
This is one of the beasts from Fatal.
That's right. You see me being choked. You see me being choked on the screen there. Well, you understand, I have much more range. I could do other things. I could show you Sleepy.
He sings, he dances.
Romantic.
Everything you need.
Hello, my love. I can show you it all. Would you like to see my lizard genitals? No? All right, well, I take it back.
Thanks. I thought you're nothing. You're cut off from the waist down. There's nothing there. Let's be honest.
Oh, you're right. It's an arm. That's hard to be in that position. I've got all sorts of toys.
The Canuck says, I heard about Clint Stoker from Indiegogo and from Zach, EVS, and others who'd started before you. I thought about backing your first book for months now. Continued. Then I finally backed it and have not been disappointed yet. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's the cool thing is that I talked a little bit about the power structures in my video today, and the truth is that they don't exist like they used to exist.
It's all falling apart.
Yeah, we didn't have to get permission to do this. We didn't have, you know what I mean? Like you get out there and you grind. You try to make the best book you can. You get it in front of people. You connect with people, and that's ultimately what it comes down to. And a little bit of merman dancing action, I think.
Talking about merman. That is merman.
Oh, gosh.
And he's grinding. He's on Grinder too.
Merman. All right. Yeah, he did say, let's see. I'm catching up here. This is on Kiwi Farms. It devolved into its own Whisper Network conspiracy site. Yeah, for a while there, it was like Preston Poulter writing like Dear Diary posts. I saw a few of those, and making up. I've heard some of the strangest conspiracy theories, and I know they're conspiracy theories because some of them involved me. It was like the weirdest stuff. I'm like, that's not at all how it works.
Conspiracy theory involved you?
I am a secret agent. I'm on the pink team, they call, or pink or brown team. I can't remember. There's a team or something. And
I've heard of both of those teams on Grinder. where Merman goes.
I was just like, when I start hearing stuff like that, I'm like, clearly, like I know that I know it's false, so now I don't trust any of it because I already know, like, with intimate detail, that the one is just total BS, made up stuff. Let's see.
I'm not on Team Pink. I'm on Team Bronze. Anybody want bronze?
I'm going to call you the Raven, okay? Because that's a long name. No offense, but the Raven says, Downcast as a concept didn't catch my interest. That's fair enough. Most CG books don't, to be honest. Fatal Concept and Charlie's Art interested me. The only other CG book that I've bought is Johnny Phantasm. Well, you have good taste, I think, because that's the thing is I think books are expensive, and you want to make your dollars count. So I'm appreciating that you backed Fatal. I really do appreciate that. I think that you're going to enjoy it.
I know he'll enjoy it.
Yeah, Paul Riley says, Clint, yes, I know you will enjoy it. I'm confident about that. Paul Riley says, Clint might have the best opening animation for a comics YouTube channel. thank 3D Robin. He did that animation for me over his Christmas break. He just did it out of the kindness of his heart. Yeah, he was awesome. I didn't even ask him for it. He just did it. So yeah, he did. That was fantastic. Yeah,
Because you've said that the music is 3D.
the music is 8-bit music.
Not
So I did
3D.
the music. Yeah,
You
it's
said
an
the music
8-bit.
is stock. The music was stock, right?
It was
So I
free.
never even asked. The animation was created for the channel.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, 3D Robin did it. If I ever upgrade StreamYards to the paid version, then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get I'll play that intro at like at the beginning of streams or something, you know.
Dude, are you kidding me? It never even occurred to me. Why is that not at the beginning of every stream you do?
Because I would have to pay to do it. I don't. It's like it costs like $50 a month, and I'm not even getting right now $50 a month in. This month's been pretty good though in super chats, but generally speaking, I'm not even making $50 a month, so I don't want to lose money doing streams. Yeah, with StreamYard, it's cost too much.
Especially
I'm not there.
Especially if Brian Christopher is getting a semi chub from our merman friend, right?
Yeah, it's getting provocative.
Yes, look at how sexy he is.
Jasper says it's an excellent intro, kind of bizarre. It is, and that's what makes it fun. 3D Robin's like sweet cast. It's like a broadcast, and so he had like a radio tower with broadcasting it up to a satellite, and everything is my now trademark peppermint candy. It was fun. The series of events has been great. Sci-Fi for me says I may get in touch with 3D Robin's contact info. We've wanted a 3D version of our new logo for a while. Yeah, he's fantastic. You could email him, and I'm not. Maybe I shouldn't have said he did that intro for me for free, but I think usually he charges people. He had an idea and he just did it. But yeah, catch him on Twitter. I guess reach out to him and offer him money.
That usually works for most people.
That it does indeed. Usually. Jason Black says you got to spend money to make money. Don't I know it?
Jason Black is right, man.
My taxes last year, I was looking at like all the expenses for this business. It's been insane. This year, if I think about it, two successful crowdfunding campaigns in 2020. And like, where are we at right now? 3 projects. I've made over the course of 3 campaigns $143,000. By far, the most of that is expenses. It has cost an awful ton of money, but I get what you mean though. Let's see. Clint's BR Raven is fine. Okay. BR Raven. The QTR library is my podcast moniker because there's other quotes, so I had to make it longer so people could find it on YouTube. Okay. That's fair. Somebody asked, or they were talking about coloring. I forgot. I wanted to mention this, that Charlie has to color it because it won't match. I've got somebody else trying out colors right now, and he says he can do it. That's what he says. So we're going to find out. I won't drop any names yet, but he said, send me a test page. I know what to do. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how that goes.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I like when people come in with that vigor and positive energy and I can do that. And then they usually can.
Yeah. He asked about deadlines and stuff, and so that was the only thing I'm not so sure about, but I was just like, man, if you can do this, like, I just want to see you do it. And he's fantastic. I don't want to, again, we're just trying people out right now, but I hope he can do it because he's a really cool dude too. I don't know why I didn't think of him earlier. It's like, well, duh.
Will he love Merman?
I don't know if he's into Merman. I don't know.
I don't know why I have this.
I don't know either. It's always funny the plethora of toys you have out there. All right. I think I'm going to refresh this. I realize we're into the slow season and I don't have my email up. So I don't know that we've had a backer tonight because I think we've already sold every one of the 67 people here on the book. But I'm going to refresh it anyway. Hey, we got 2 more backers. I love that. Appreciate that. I didn't embarrass myself. That ended up being great. Next is $66,000. Our next step, but really it's the 70K stretch goal. That's going to be huge. When we hit 75, that's important because we're 3/4 of the way to 100K. Every single dollar we get here is it brings us up on the list. I have been trying. Someone will have to tell me if you know where the list is for the year-to-date 2020 top crowdfunding campaigns, because we made the list. I saw it circulating on Twitter. We made the list after the first week. I think we were on the list. Right now, we were, for the year 2020, we're on the top. I can't remember where our place was, but right now we've got to be higher up on that list. So if somebody knows where it is, tag me on Twitter or something. Let me know. I want to see. But for us to really get on the top 25 Indiegogo campaigns ever for comics, it's going to take an awful lot more money. That is becoming more and more of an exclusive club. So I think it's going to get to the point where you have to make 200K to hit that list.
Well, may I be egotistical for a moment and say the more people that see it, then more people will want it. I think so. I mean, a lot of times I make artwork and I back away from it as the year goes on, and I think I don't like that artwork. That cover is fun. The pages are fun. Each page that I make, I think I'd love to add this to the promos, but we can't show anymore. I mean, how much more artwork can we show?
No, we got to leave some surprises.
We're unknowns, but we can't show everything.
Right.
You know, it does take a while to be convinced that somebody could be the artist that's fun, or the book that's fun that you're looking for. And I don't know, do we have enough out there? Should we just keep putting more? Just come on in, everybody. Have a glance. Enjoy.
Maybe, you know what might be good is the last week add another page or something. Like we can show one off some progress or something. But yeah, we don't want to show too much. Is this, so Bianca Fights the Zombie says 69, dude. Are we number 69 for the year? Is that where we're at? I don't know where we're at. Or is he just saying, is that just his greeting? I don't know, Bianca. Fill me in. Yeah, this is great. Somebody asked if you want to, let's see, Jasper says if you got to add an artist edition like Sean Gordon Murphy, if you want that number to shoot up. We have an artist edition. We thought ahead. So it is actually available. Black and white artist. This is line art. I don't know exactly what his entailed, but you can get that right now. It is available. So if you didn't know that and you backed just the book, I mean, you could refund and then back at the higher one. That's acceptable. I don't want to trip over cents. Trip over dollars to make sense. I can't remember. But yeah, but it is available. There's probably a few things that we could do to breathe more life into this campaign, but
it's really just how can we reach more people?
Yeah,
let people see what it is. Like I was saying, I could just keep adding pages, but especially because we're unknown. You know, we're riding in from the Great Plains, just sort of saying, you know, don't like our clothes. We've been in the desert for 75 days and I'm covered in dirt, but you know, will you read a book with me? And people are thinking, I don't know who the hell you are. I've never seen you two before. You can't even come in here.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we keep getting out there. It'd be nice to get on like Nerdrotic, or I feel like I've been on just about every stream. But more, yes, would be great. Here's an idea. Yeah. Maybe have a print set by additional artists that's cheaper than printing umpteen versions of the comic with different covers. So we do have a print set as well. We thought ahead there a little bit too. They're not from different artists though. They're from Charlie, and Charlie's he's just a very good artist. So here's a print set right here, and these are 11 by 17, so they're large. We're not shipping these with books because it just doesn't make sense logistically. So if you want to back a print set, this one is limited. They're signed and numbered by Charlie Snogans. And let me emphasize on the limited here. I limited it to 100, but if we only sell 10 of these, we only sell 5 of these, then they're going to be limited to 5 or 10. Like it's going to be extremely limited. So they're going to.
Can I have the rest?
Do you want the rest? You could hang them all up.
I'll take the other 100. I'll just put them around the room as a testament to my egotism.
Yeah. So yeah, we're trying to think ahead, but I just think that there's a lot of tears, so people, they miss things. I missed the print set. Yeah, no worries. If you want to back it, it's here. It's available right now. Let's see.
I'll have all of them, and my wife will come in and think, "Are you all right?" I mean, it's one thing to like your own artwork. It's another thing to wallpaper the room around you with it.
It's like wearing your own band t-shirt. Like if you're whatever famous band A and you wear your own band t-shirt at a concert, that's a problem. Like when you're playing, yeah, that doesn't work. There's also the 6x9 head sketch that comes with the book. This is a good option too. I don't know. We'll just keep pushing it, guys. I think that's what it is. But
yeah,
we're in the mid campaign.
Just keep it in the pavement. I would imagine most of the people here with us tonight they're already in for their Sweetcast. They love Sweetcast, so they're here to listen, here to have fun. They've probably all backed. Now, how do we reach out farther? I don't know. Nerdrotic is an audience that I don't think we have had any access to. And then just every night, I'll flag people down on the highway. Have you seen this book? Have you seen it all?
Yeah.
Do you ever walk past people that are trying to get you to the comedy show? Do you like comedy? As you're walking past the street?
Oh yeah, you like comedy? You're gonna love Fatal.
Ever walk past the guy in the street who's saying, "Do you like comedy?" And you look at him and say, "No, I hate jokes and I hate you. Get away from me." This is pre-pandemic. Get away from me, you rat bastard. I have things to do.
I forgot about that.
I'm walking around. You're trying to stop me and sell me on a comedy show? It's 1:00 in the afternoon in Manhattan. Get away from me, you stinky bastard.
I don't like music. I like nothing. Yeah, we could do that.
Do you want to come to our show tonight? I have my band. Get away from me. I hate you. I hate everything. Get out of my face. I'm walking down the street. You ever encounter those people? It's the summertime. It's 903 degrees. You're walking past the street corner. No, I'm ogling the ladies and I'm walking to work. That's what I do. Get away from me. Elmo.
Yeah.
Do you ever encounter Elmo? Does anybody else have this experience in their lives? Or is this only...
In New York, I don't get Elmo around here. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I've never seen that dirty costume around here. But I'll walk around.
To give you a high five. Oh, Elmo! You say, Elmo, you're filthy. That costume is 40 years old, and who knows where you've been in it. And I high-fived him once, and then I just thought about it. Oh, no. How many people have tickled that motherfucker? How many people have tickled the bastard?
That's disgusting. You're good. It's what I get is being on a college campus, I'll get military recruiters that will approach me, especially more so a few years ago when I looked a little younger. I'll get people saying, "Hey, you want summer jobs? Come, we got summer." I'm like, "No, man." Like I once had to tell this like military recruiter guy, like, I have a career. I'm not your target demographic. Like,
I'm
it's okay. Like, I get what you're doing, but he's like, no, man, you could do it. I'm like, no, I can't. Like, I really can't. You don't understand.
You don't understand. I'm old and I'm fat. I couldn't join the military now. Legally, I can't join the military. Out. You can't even get in. That's when you turn to this military guy and you say, but do you like lasers and aliens and hot chicks and vehicles in space? Because have I got the book for you? And then that's when he said, I gotta go.
Yeah. Here's a good point. I didn't think about that. Used to could get monogram towels and not have to think about too hard about the initials. First time it has occurred to me, Clint Stoker, Charlie Snogans. CS.
Oh.
Do you have a
Hey.
middle name? And does it start with an A?
It starts with a B. It's the gayest and the toughest name. It starts with a B. Can anybody in the chat or Clint get it?
Okay.
What were you
Yeah,
saying?
sure. I was
Starts
gonna
with a
say
B.
Bernard. No.
No, that was a good guess.
No.
It's the toughest name and the gayest name at the same time. Anybody? I don't know how many listening in the chat. I'll give you a standing 10 count. But yeah, I'm CBS and you're CAS.
CAS, yeah. Bernie.
Can you give me a hint?
Oh, here we go. This is probably it, huh? Bruce.
Jason Black. You win the prize. Gayest and the
Bruce.
toughest name at once.
So that's why Bruce Banner, when they made the first Lou Ferrigno TV show, they didn't call him Bruce because it was too gay of a name.
What? In the 70s?
In the TV show. That's what they said, yeah. So they didn't name him Bruce. Am I making this up? I'm pretty sure that's what I heard somewhere.
I don't know, but Jason Black has watched The Simpsons, I'm guessing, because that is a Simpsons joke. When Homer complains, Bjorn. I can't. Bjorn. I wish. That's a rad name. But when Homer's complaining, Bruce, Lance, Bruce and Lance, these were the toughest names we had. Now they're just gay. And now I was complaining to my wife that straight people are gayer than homosexuals.
So,
and
sometimes.
And as far as, because remember the word gay, the word gay was sort of, we had a gay old time. There's still songs that we play in the house. Yeah, they made him David Banner. It was so confusing instead of Bruce.
That's right.
But remember,
David.
So you remember, I listened to music from the 30s and the 40s, and we'll have a gay old time. It's in the Flintstones too. We'll have a gay old time. Nat Cole, Ray Charles, they would say, we'll have a gay time. And it just meant it'll be really nice. And I think what happened was, over time, people were having picnics, and I went with my darling, my sugar, my sweetheart, and we went to the park and we had a gay old time. And married people kept doing that, and then their time was limited by having children. And gay guys kept having a good time. Or, sorry, homosexual guys kept having a good time. And married people had kids, and then said, everything's horrible. We've got all these children. It's nothing but work. This is horrible. We're not gay at all anymore. And the homosexuals eventually said, we're still gay. We're still having a gay old time. So,
is that really how it happened? Or this is the theory?
I think that's the explanation, because
it sounds reasonable. Yeah.
And then sort of, so fun, lighthearted stuff continued being gay, and married people said, well, we don't do that anymore. We don't have picnics anymore. That's just for the homosexuals. And then they said, right, gay. They still are gay. We're not gay anymore, Clint. We have kids. Wait, have I gone too far?
I don't know.
when they've graduated college and they support us, we'll have gay time again.
That's true. We're why not? Jason Black says we're at 99,730. I got to figure out what this ends up being. So 3 backers, I just pulled that number out. 3 backers will be 100K in New Zealand. I do think you're right though, Charlie. It ends up being like we've streamed so many times on my channel. I know that some people have backed, some people have not backed, and they're gonna wait till the last day because
Really?
of those. Yeah, it's just
To build
So-
the suspense?
I don't know. It's just one of those things that happens. Zach talks about this too. Sometimes like there's the type of person that gets it on day one, and they get like you get this like good feeling about it, to get in there early, and then there are people that like to wait, and I don't know if it's like an intentional thing. It's just a personality trait or something, but you wait until the last possible minute, and then you back it. And
I backed
it does something for
Kozor
you.
on day 30,
yeah.
and I think today is their last day right now, right?
I think it could, yeah, because there was two. Was it last night? No, 2 nights ago I streamed with them. They had 2 days. Yeah, probably now
No.
they're about
You know
finished.
what I was doing while you were streaming with them?
Oh, were you cleaning poop off sheets?
I was cleaning poop off sheets. My daughter had an accident in her bed. I had to scrub underwear and sheets. And all I can think of as I'm explaining what I was doing instead of streaming with you and the Aussies is that in the future at some point my daughter would say, "There's a record of what my father talked about. Let's go look back at it." He didn't talk about that time I pooped in my bed, did he? Oh no. No, Dad, no.
Yeah. Have you had the being vomited on directly? I took a picture once. I showed it on stream once too, but my daughter was just bawling, and it's like when they get sick and they're just so young, like 1 or under, that they can't express it to you that they're feeling sick. And I picked her up, and it was just like fire hose right in the face. My beard was just saturated. It was disgusting. Is this getting gross? I don't. Yeah, it was gross.
You know what it isn't? You know what that isn't? That is not a gay old time.
You got a point there. That it certainly wasn't. The other thing is getting bitten by a little kid with sharp teeth. We got another backer. Hey,
A little kid with sharp teeth?
64. Yeah, their teeth are razor sharp when they're first cutting teeth through and they're starting to teeth. And they just have the 4 teeth on the front. And I've been bitten. Like, you ever get bit? Like, I got bit here once by one of my girls, and it was just the worst. Like right on like the meat of the front of the shoulder. It was the worst experience. That was so painful.
Were you breastfeeding? That's when my wife was complaining. When
Thank
they were
goodness.
teeth.
Oh, thank
They
goodness
know.
I didn't.
They know all too well.
Yeah, it goes in demand anyway. Here's the one thing: is what's the point of backing if you go in demand and you can back it later? I think there's got to be something special for people that back before the campaign ends. I've got a few ideas, but I think that there's something there. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. We'll put our heads together and we'll get something there.
Could I threaten them with Merman? He'll come to your house and hug Baby Yoda until Baby Yoda. Merman's coming.
Got toys everywhere.
He's on Grinder.
Pull a mail-in. What's the mail-in? That's saying that your campaign is closed.
No
completely.
in demand.
No in demand. You could do that.
This
That's
toy
an
actually swims.
Yeah,
Got a
no,
little
and I
battery in
get
it.
it. Just letting those know that can't afford it right away. I totally get it. I get it. There are great things about in demand. I think that there's probably a happy medium somewhere out there. Benefit for those that back before in demand that makes you want it. But now I'm getting people saying no in demand. No in demand. That could change things. Because I still keep getting, I got a backer today for Downcast. I need to ship out more books now. It's like I got to do a second round of a third, fourth round of fulfillment again on Downcast because people keep backing it. The question is, would they have backed it if I did no in demand? Because it really helps to have the money before you go through all the expenses, of printing the book. if it's after, I guess you're selling books, so that's nice. But if they were planning on backing it, then I don't know. Yeah, here's one. Didn't you draw Vampire? Oh wait. Oh, Keith, do we have an artist in here? He offers them with the next campaign. Yeah. No in demand. eBay at premium price. Somebody asked me today for Downcast Volume 1, but cover B, the Matt Weldon cover. I didn't print as many of those, and right now I only have like half of a box full of them. So I don't know what to do with those, or like how I was going to save them and try to sell them at a convention or something. But let's be honest, the convention's not going to happen anytime soon. So I might make those available, but eBay might be a good option. Let's see. Sci-Fi for me says, given how indie comics get more visibility now, could be that some are just finding you who weren't around then. That's true too. The other thing is I am making videos all the time. And so, you know, I don't have a, like I said, I don't have a sledgehammer approach. Mine's like more of a like drip. So it's over time. I'm just getting to new people, and that's how I'm selling books. So there's some benefit in making books available all the time. Yeah, Kent says eBay those. Okay. I think I'm convinced. I think I'll try the eBay store, and then I can just put a link in my thing. Then people can get it or not get it. I guess that's up to them.
So what's the idea? Overprint by 1,000 and then eBay those?
Depending on how big it goes, you would want to overprint. Like I'll tell you, with this cover, I'm not going to overprint this one too much. You know what I mean? Just for how many have been ordered. This is not representative of it, by the way. I've got to look at the back end. There've been a few hundred of these ordered. But there's going to be fewer of these. I'm just floating this out there for the chat, but I'm kind of wondering if we said that this wraparound cover is just available for people that back before the main campaign ends. What would that do? That would explode minds. It's fair. Everyone has had plenty of time to get it, but I don't know. I'm kind of just floating that idea. That could be interesting, because then it adds a little bit of immediacy, you know, to back the campaign. I don't know. Just thinking about it. Let's see. In case you don't know, I've worked with Marvel, Caliber, Arrow Comics, Slave Labor, Ronin Studios, TSR, Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, as an artist, writer, editor, and self-publisher. I did not know that. It's good to know.
Who names themselves slave labor?
Slave labor.
How is
I know it's
company? It's on the nose a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. A little too on the nose. There's a great compliment. Charlie's got fantastic art. Yeah, good idea.
John.
An Indiegogo exclusive cover. That is right. Because it makes a big difference if you're backing the campaign. It makes a huge difference if you're backing the campaign before the end of the official campaign, or you're backing, like you're getting the book afterward. So, and I appreciate it. Like if people want to get the book afterward, I want to make it available somehow, but having something for those people that jumped on to sort of encourage it, but also reward them, then I don't know. I think that's a good idea. That might be the idea, but I think there are other things too we might consider. So, but we'll try to be very open about it. Cool.
Is it wrong that I'm eating nachos? Anybody? I'm turning off the microphone so nobody hears mouth sounds.
Midnight. No, you're good. There's no bad time for nachos. But having said that, I do think we'll probably wrap up the stream. I think we had a good one though, Charlie. That was fun. I'm surprised I sent the link to like a lot of people. I thought this was going to be a party, but it is Saturday night. I guess people are having their own parties. So back. It could be. Everyone back Fatal. If you haven't backed it yet, help us out. Help us reach that 70K goal. And then ultimately, it would be amazing to take out $100,000. I think if anything, this is the book to do it. and great coming from two Cinderella men. I'm going to put it that way. We're Cinderella men. You know,
Well said.
We're coming from no mainstream clout. We're both professionals at what we do, but we haven't professionally worked for Marvel or DC, and we're still making more money than many of their professionals. Cinderella fellas, I love that.
Yeah, maybe.
Cinder fellas.
Right on, bro.
Cinder fellas. That's
Cinderfellas.
right.
That was a
So
that was a Jerry Lewis movie that I loved as a kid. Cinderfella.
oh, was it? I didn't know that. Okay, Cinderfella.
Yeah, funny, very funny.
Yeah.
Man, I saw who's the Venom artist?
Brian Stegman.
Yeah,
Senator?
good
Yeah.
artist. And he
Oh, yeah.
posted some. I saw he posted something, and I thought, no, I don't want to get too egotistical, but it looks better than that, man.
Are you talking about the double page spread with the cell phones on one
Yes.
side? That's
Because
exactly the one. Yeah.
Vaughn commented on it, and I thought, yeah, our cover's better. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
he's a good.
We could do that.
He's a good artist. He does good stuff. But yeah, I mean, seriously, we'll put this up. I'll put this up against any book in comics right now. Any book in comics. But yeah, we're gonna end the stream off. Appreciate everyone for watching and supporting us over the next 21 days here. We're gonna keep pushing it, and I'm just gonna have to set up another book tour, and I don't know. I always have people inviting me on streams, but maybe I'll get more aggressive again. But if anybody has connections with Nerdrotic, put a word in, or any of these bigger channels. I don't know any of these guys, Nerdrotic, or trying to think of some other bigger channels I can't think of right now. But put in a good word for us. We're just trying to get this in front of everybody, so that I don't know. We want to knock it out of the park. So appreciate you all, and goodbye. We'll see you later,
Thank you, everybody.
and in the next video.